All right, great panel. So next up, we have Nathan Chandra, CEO of Buttrfly. Nathan, why don't you make your way up here? And while he's making his way up, is anyone new? Anyone not here yesterday or the day before? Don't be shy, raise your hand. I'd like to see who you are. Oh, over there, we got somebody who's new. So I'm going to come over and bring the microphone to you. I want you to tell us who you are, what company you're from, and maybe what you're hoping to learn today from all these ICO pitches. Could you just stand up and introduce yourself to us?
I'm Ramon Juice. I'm from Malta. I'm just looking to see what I can invest in. I'm local. From Malta, yes. Ramon Juice. No, that's me only. Thank you.
All right, well, welcome. We're glad to see you. It's always good to have new people.
Check.
Let's give Nathan a big round of applause. Nathan, why don't you take it away?
Hello, everybody. It's been a pleasure meeting a lot of you in Malta. It's a great location. My name is Nathan Chandra. I am a founder of a company called Buttrfly. We're a blockchain marketplace for scaling influencer marketing campaigns. What does that mean? Let's say one of our clients, Fox, wants to have 3,000 people on Instagram post something all on the same date. Now, how do they orchestrate that? So the current systems are flawed because it's a heavy workflow that needs to be done. And this is the way the current systems work. For a brand, there's a lot of problems. First, the system currently will show them influencers they should be working with and then say, good luck. So what does that mean? They have to hire a whole floor of people to deal with, will you forward it for me? To deal with contracting the influencer. So somebody has to reach out, call their momager, their manager, their agent, whoever it is, and build a relationship with them. Next, they need to contract with the influencer. So that's negotiating contracts. And then after that's all done, and the influencer posts information for advertising, they then have to verify the influencer post. Somebody has to go manually and do all that. And then they have to get a W-9 form, do the invoicing, do the payment. This goes on and on. I know that Gary Vaynerchuk has a whole floor of people, it's about 40 of them, that will help with this process, and it's a problem. And we can solve that with a blockchain. Now, for the influencer, they experience something similar. So they have to deal with finding the brands to work with, and they have to deal with contracting with them. They have to send them the W-9. It's really heavy on the workflow. Then they have to wait for payments. I've had influencers that have waited up to 120 days to get paid, and it's killing them. So we're here to help with all this. So how does Buttrfly work? So I don't know if anybody's ever worked with Trade Desk or not, but basically a brand will log into our system and they'll put an advertising spend in. So let's say the brand has $500,000. They'll put it into the system and then they will request who are the best influencers to work with. So we have AI and ML that'll go out and optimize this to give them the best influencers to work with, and then we'll assign a value to each influencer's post. And if the brand says okay, then the request goes out into the Buttrfly app. The influencer logs into the Buttrfly app, and they go to a section that gives them opportunities. It's really simple. It's almost like Tinder for influence. A post will come up and say, hey, do you want to post this for Fox? On July 31st, you're going to make $500. They just swipe right, and the post sits in an automatic send, and it'll send out automatically. And so what this does is it just scales the influencer messaging across Instagram, and brands are really excited for what we're doing. And this is the influencer experience. Super simple. Like I was saying, to make this work, it just needs to be simple. And it's like Tinder. They log in, see these opportunities, and they start booking their inventory in the future. So as an influencer, we're able to say, hey, July 31st, you're going to make $500 from Fox. Hey, on August 5th, you're going to make $700 from Sony. Hey, on August 15th, you're going to make another $200 from Nike. So influencers now are starting to get paid. And a lot of people put work in to have 25,000 followers on their Instagram, 50,000 followers on their Instagram, 100,000 followers, 1 million followers. So our revenue model, we have a couple different revenue models. Up here, I just put the most easy. First, we have a freemium model. And the reason that we do this is that different brands and different agencies can just log in and use our rails. So CAA, if they have 100,000 influencers that they're working with, or 20,000 influencers, we don't want to be their competitor. So we're not going to take a commission from that. Now, if a brand wants to use our data, we have a database of over 311 million Instagram profiles, all virally mapped for brand affinities. Then we're going to turn it into a cost per engagement model, and then we can see up to 50% revenue from that model. But what happens is they're paying less for the cost per engagement, and then they're increasing their reach, so they're okay with that. And customer acquisition, like I said, we're not charging for customers to jump on. We're not going to take a commission, so they don't see us as a threat. And for brands, we've already got a bunch. Our team is really well experienced. So like I was saying, we have Sony, we have Fox, WeWork, and then influencers. We've already started partnering with different influencer agencies, like Lips Agency out in LA, who's got over 20,000 influencers, Heartbeat out in LA, who's got 150,000 influencers. They want to work with us because we help them get more deal throughput, and that's a pain point that we're solving for influencer agencies. So we have two different, we have one token that we're releasing, but there's going to be two tokens in the platform. So the token that the Buttrfly token is called a buck. We're calling it a buck because everybody knows what a buck is in the States. Everyone says, hey, you know, I want a buck, or things cost $5. And we're doing a discount model similar to what's going on with Binance. So holding our tokens gives you a discount in our platform. We can get more involved in that if you guys want to have a talk offline. And then secondly, we have a tethered token. I don't think we're going to use USDT, even though that is the logo, for the medium of exchange. And the reason that we're using a tethered token for the medium of exchange is if a brand logs into our system and says, hey, here's $500,000 for a campaign, but they didn't press go that evening, and they come back to the system tomorrow and it's $480,000, they're not going to be happy. Even if it increases and goes to $550,000, they're not going to be happy. The accounting system is not going to know how to deal with that. So we're using some type of tethered token for the medium of exchange. And similar to the influencers, you know, influencers want to make money. So when they receive a payment, it's going to be in fiat, and they can have an option to either, you know, put that in the bank, or we have a Buttrfly debit card that we're sending out to these influencers, and they can just go spend their money anywhere that MasterCard is accepted. The market size is huge, so we have a couple different markets that we're penetrating. Big data is 203 billion, and we have a big data platform. Social ad spend is 35 billion, but the immediate market that we're going after is a 10 billion market in 2020. So in 2017, there was 2 billion spent on influencer marketing campaigns, and by 2020, it's going to be 10 billion. It's going to be 5x growth, and we are here to capture a lot of that revenue. Competitive analysis. So there are a handful of companies doing this on the blockchain. There's a bunch of them doing it without the blockchain. This is a very confusing slide, and I'm confused by my competitors too, because some of them are in Russia, you know, some of them are in Japan. We're based in West Hollywood. We work with the big brands. We work with the influencers. So we're gonna crush it. Key management. So Jim Sellers, who is the CEO of the company, he's also a founder. He founded a company called Tagger Media. Tagger Media is one of the largest influencer networks that's not on the blockchain. They're doing somewhere between $8 and $10 million per year. When I pitched him on what we were working on, he was like, oh shit, you guys are solving the last mile. So what he did is he found his replacement. He said, this is the ship, it's moving this direction, and there's no way that we're going to be able to quickly move into this space. So he found his replacement, was a guy that worked at Apple, and then he moved over to us. I said, hey, you've got domain expertise, you've done this before, run the company. He's the CEO. Myself, I have been working with social data since 2012. That's when I met with Michael Turpin. We were doing some things together. It was a company called WeLink. We were doing location-based social data monitoring. We did a project with AT&T. We did a project with Hilton. Everett Carney is a blockchain engineer. He's also a full stack engineer, but he's been working in the space. He's got really close ties with EOS and those guys there. So we're debating working with EOS. And Sam Baldoni, he's a gray-haired man right here. He's all experience. He is the forefather of product placement. So we're talking about products in movies like Gremlins with Spielberg, and then all the stuff he did with 90210 and Tori Spelling. Any product that you saw in those films or in those TV series, he put into them. So when we walk into Fox, we're talking to the chief revenue officer, so it's always fantastic to have gray-haired people like myself on the team. Advisors, a whole bunch of them, people from MIT helping us with ML. The second guy, I think I know that guy. Do you guys know that guy? Michael Turpin, he's got a little bit of experience here. Todd Brown comes from Viacom. Eric Calder is an investor and an advisor. He helps write our white paper. Super connected with great people. So investment, we've already raised $2 million on a $10 million valuation using a safe T, so it can convert to equity or tokens. We're opening up another equity round near the end of the month, and we've already got 50% of that committed, and then we're going to move into a token pre-sale in September, and then we'll figure out where we're going to go from there. And that is my presentation.